flame right at the very bottom or your stripe. Because if you get it in front of it, it won't light. Bring your flame. If you look at this flame, you can see where the 3 different levels come in together. Right at the point, the deepest point right there should be 3 fingers out. And that's how, you know, if you, for me, that's how I tell if I've got my flame at the right temperature, at the right point. Especially if you're using propane. If you use propane and you have it bushy like that, your glass is going to come out sooty.
Oh.
And there is nothing that will take that off. And I haven't tried etching, but it turns it a deep black gray, and you lose everything. Alright, so when you're starting, you're going to take your rod and you're going to waft it, which is just bringing it in and out of the flame slowly. And in the process, you're turning it. The whole time you're making your bead, this has to be turning and your rod has to be turning. When you're applying glass to your mandrel, turn your mandrel away from you so that it's drawing the glass. If you're rolling it to you, you're going to find you're going to stick this right to that and you're going to be like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? If that does happen, take it right back into the flame, hold it there, get that glass molten, and then you can pull it off. If you try pulling it off once it sticks, it's going to bend that rod right over. So you want to waft it, taking it in and out. And your mandrel has to be just as hot.
I wonder if you saw that.
I didn't until I...
That was a little bit too.
Yeah, it is. But I use them. I shouldn't, but I do. I make them go as long as I can. But your mandrel has to be hot as well as your glass. Otherwise, if you try to stick hot glass to a cold surface, see how that black is? See the black on that? Or is it just, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. It was just getting clear. I thought I had my flame too high. But your glass becomes molten. It starts getting soft at about 1700 degrees. It actually is becoming close to that point at 1450. At 17 is when it actually starts moving. And you're going to get a glob, what they call a glob of glass, which is that right there. And on that mandrel, you're going to... What I just did was I did it what they call a footprint. All right, so my bead is not going to be any wider than that initial laydown of glass. If I want to make it wider, then I need to marver it. You know what? Roll it on the marver, flatten it out, and it makes the glass spread so it adheres more to the other rest of the mandrel. More of the mandrel. So now, before you can add glass to that, you have to cool it down. You want to see color come back into it. When the color comes back into it, like right now I can see the color starting. Then I know that I can apply glass rather than pull glass. Because if that glass was molten in the moving state, like it is right now, clear, and I tried to put hot glass to it, the only thing I would do would be to take the glass off the mandrel itself.
Okay.
So whenever you get ready to, and this is very, I'm not used to having to stretch this far. and I'm not used to having my arms hanging. And if you find that you get a bead that is out of balance, I'll get this one out of balance on purpose, and you should be able to feel it. If you've got it balanced, it should roll really easy in your fingers. If it's out of balance and you try to roll it, it's going to want to flop right back over to that heavy side, okay? See how I've got it so that it's heavy on one side? I'm going to cool it so that it's like that, so I can show you how to bring it back into the round. Alright, once it's like that, you're going to take your heavy side and you're going to put it just into the flame, and you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do a quarter turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A quarter turn, and keep counting. And once you see that it's starting to move, then drop it just below your flame and start increasing your speed. And don't ever stop turning it, because when you do, it's going to sag on you. So you see, it is possible to bring it back into the round, and it's mainly the counting. If you can get yourself to count, then you can normally bring it back in. Alright, let's see. I'm shaking like the dickens this morning, so I don't know if I can do dots with the big rod or not. Alright, you want to keep your bead underneath the flame and off to the side. You get your mandrel in, touch it, come up. Touch it, come up. You see I've gotten it too close, it's turning here. And I had my glass way too hot because I immediately melted my dots right into it.
So that meant this was too hot?
No, this was too hot. The bead was too hot.
So it was close to the flame?
Yeah. You want to keep it outside of your flame. If you come over on this side, you can see where I'm keep holding the bead. It's next to the flame, so it's in the heat, but it's not in the flame itself. That way, it keeps your bead hot enough that you can apply your glass, but it's not so hot that you're going to pull it. If you look at that dot, you can see where the white mixed in with it. It's because I pulled white glass up with the yellow when I brought it up and cut it off with the flame. Alright, once you get your bead to where you want it, and you're ready to take it into the kiln, you're going to cool this bead down. It's called flame annealing, and you're going to do that underneath the flame until you get color in it. Once you get color in it, I want you to take it over to the kiln and put it directly into the kiln. You can't waste time. Don't worry about shutting your torch off right away, because you're coming right back to it. We're far enough away that if you waste time, you can cause a crack in your bead. Alright, now before you can do this part at any point, either before you make your bead or after you make it, but I want you to mark your rods so that we know. And what you're going to do is you're going to put glass on the rod right below the bead release. See, I didn't have that hot enough, so it wouldn't, not on the bead release, but below the bead release. It might stick and it might not if you don't have it hot enough. And you're going to want to make sure you bring this back in to the flame to keep it hot. Because if it's cooled to a certain point and then you put it in that kiln without it being heated up, it's going to snap right off.
Can you mark your color before you start?
Yes, you can. I didn't think to do it before. That's why I said it's your choice. I would suggest you do it before you make your bead. And it does, just as long as the rod has glass all the way around it. If it's just part way around it, it's gonna pop off. Now, I wanna make sure I bring my bead back up to temp, all the way through. I wanna be able to see the mandrel through my bead, and in that way, I know that I've reheated my bead completely, and I don't have to worry about it snapping and popping off me. So,
If we do the bead release, if we do the color marking first, do we have to warm that up before we
just
stick it
every
in?
just every once in a while, like I'm doing right now, I'm kind of heating and cooling at the same time until they get just about the same temperature. All right, now is where I want to take it and put it into the kiln. When you do this, just lift the door and slide it in.
Okay.
Okay, and I put beads in there that I had worked at home.
Can I open that and just look at it real quick?
Make sure you have your glasses on.